Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a review video on the Color Story Neon Obsessions eyeshadow palette. Now, you guys, I think there's a couple of videos that you all have seen my eye looks in, and it's been used with like pastel-y, vibrant-y-ish kind of colors. The Broken Doll tutorial, it's not really a tutorial, but that was the eyes that I had in that was done with this palette. And I just kind of wanted to do a little bit of a review because I think this palette needs it. So let's just go ahead and get on into it. So the box of the palette looks like this. It is called the Color Story Neon Obsessed Pressed Pigment Palette. Once again by Color Story Cosmetics, or just Color Story. It was $5 at Five Below. So if you guys have a Five Below, stop this video, run out, and get that palette, because I'm telling you, this is a good palette for $5. So we're also gonna start with the back of the box too by saying it is cruelty-free. I'm reading from the back here. Cruelty-free, designed in the USA. They have a Facebook and a Twitter if you need to get a hold of them. Oh, okay, so it was designed in the USA but made in China. Interesting. Didn't know that. And cruelty-free. They have a Twitter and a Facebook. Almar Sales Company is the one who does their stuff. And that's about it. The first ingredient is mica. Wouldn't have figured that. But it is a $5 palette, and it is cruelty-free, so I am happy about that. But we're going to get into the more important part. So, if you guys have a Halloween look, and you're like, I need some bright, like, pastel-y kind of colors, this is going to be the palette you're going to have to get. They're not neon, but if you pair it with a nice white base, which I should have here, hang on. Just any kind of white base. I will show you the difference, I guess. Here is, we'll do a white crayon here. I'm looking to make sure I get it on my... Okay, so white base. I'm going to swatch one color with and without the white base. That way you guys kind of get the idea. Packaging, not the best packaging, but this was a $5 palette, so I'm not upset. We're gonna do, what kind of color? I'm gonna do this bright orange. I love, it's like a salmon kind of color. I love that. That is just the cutest color. So, got some on my finger. You can see. And I'm gonna put it on the white, and then I'm going back in. I'm going beside the white. I'm going to put a little bit more on top of the white because you can see the white through it where I put it really thick on in the middle. Oops. That's my fault. So, I do get a lot of kick up or kickback or kickboxing or powder puffs, whatever you want to call it. I do kind of get that in this palette, but it is a pressed pigment palette. A lot of people don't know how to use pressed pigment palettes, and that's their first gripe is, oh my gosh, there's a lot of kick up. There's a lot of fallout under my eyes. Pigments, you need a little to go a long way. So I feel like that's important. But if you guys can't tell, here is with the white. Easy to tell, and here's without the white. Easy to tell as well. They're both really beautiful colors. You can pack a punch with that one with the white under it, I think. It's really bright. It's not coming off as bright as I'm seeing it, though. It is super bright. So I think that's really fun. You get a nice variety of colors. Now, if you're looking for something with shimmers and with mattes, this isn't going to be a palette that you need to get. Because I personally think this doesn't have any glitter in it. And you can look at it and tell it doesn't have any shimmer in it. So this isn't going to be a palette that you would drive to. Now, this purple color is speaking to me, so we're just going to... It's like a periwinkle type deal. The only color in this palette that I have used... Ooh, that is pretty. The only color in this palette that I have used that doesn't work with me is this orange. Now, if I used it under a white, that's going to be a different story. But where it's so close to my skin, like the undertones of my skin, it just doesn't show up. I don't know if everybody would have a problem with that color, but I personally do have a problem with that color. It just doesn't... It shows up on my finger. See, it shows up on my finger. Dang. My camera needs to get with it. But whenever I go to swatch it on my hand, it disappears. Like, there's literally nothing on there. So, that's kind of a bummer because that orange is really pretty for definitely a fall look. But you can also use some other colors in here. As far as the quality of the shadows go, they blend out extremely, extremely well. I didn't have to work very hard to blend them out, which I like. Now, I can't speak if they were all on a white base, how it would be blending out, but I'm assuming it would be kind of the same way. I do use a primer, and I set my primer with these shadows, and then I sprayed with a little bit of finishing spray at the end, and they lasted me all throughout the day. The pigmentation wasn't lacked. They were a little chalky, some of the colors, depending on what one I used. Particularly when I went in with this yellow color the other day, it was a little chalky, but then I went in with my finger and it was perfectly fine. So, you know, I mean, it's $5. You're not going to get an Anastasia Beverly Hills product. You're not going to get a Lime Crime product. You're not going to get a freaking Morphe palette here. This was $5. So, to end up my review, I'm just going to give it scaled, you know, out of a 10. And for price being $5, packaging, blendability, pigment of the palette, I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8 out of a 10 because the price is just so good on it. Anybody can really, if you're wanting a nice pastel-y palette, this is going to be the one you need to go for if you don't want to spend a lot of money because it's got all the colors you need. You've got some base colors, some nice crease colors in here. You couldn't probably just do one solitary look out of this. I would. But if you're wanting like a pop of shimmer or something like that, you're not going to find that in this palette because it's just not there. But for $5, I just feel like I keep reiterating that it's $5. But this palette was $5. You get a pretty good product, and I think that it's worth it. So if you guys are in the market for something cheap, but with color, or you're wanting to experiment with color, but don't want to spend a whole lot of money because you don't know if you're going to like it, pick up this palette from Five Below, or go to colorstory.com, or anything like that, and see this palette, get this palette, test it out, and try it on yourself, because it's good for the money. Now, I wouldn't rave about a palette if I didn't like it, and I can tell you, I have enough palettes to go through and use one every single day of my life, and probably still have some left. Not of my life, I over-exaggerated, but I could use for like probably a year. I could probably use one palette every single day and still have more than I have to use. I've picked up this one 4 times since I've had it, and that's a lot for a palette. I will continue to use this after Halloween. I will continue using this throughout Christmas, throughout Easter, because oh my gosh, look at how pretty. These colors are just phenomenal. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys want me to use a tutorial, or if you guys want me to do a tutorial using this palette, let me know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also hit that post notification bell, that way you get notified every time I upload a new video. And as I always say, stay cool and be you. Bye!